What is up, guys? We got Dirty Mike and Cobbs Creek Beef back with another 4th and 26 Philly Sports podcast. Beef, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh man, it was hot outside. It was hot as shit earlier, foods. It was muggy. I got fucking swamp ass, but let me tell you, soon it's going to be a nice crisp fall. We got football on the horizon, and the first week's in the books, buddy.
Woke up for school this morning, and it was in the upper 50s here. For the first time, it wasn't humid today. Today was literally the first time it wasn't like 90 to 95 degrees for the last like 3 months. It's been hot as balls down here, but it actually felt great today. So fall is coming down here a little bit sooner, hopefully. But
Yeah,
yeah,
nice
man.
football weather.
It's great football weather. This is exactly once you can start putting on the sweatshirts, throw the hoodie on, the sweatpants, go to Wawa.
Dude,
We're
it's going to
Mr.
be
Wings.
great. Maybe a nice fire. Yeah, get one out back, stoke it up.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going camping. Paris Mountain, the one I've done like that 12-mile like loop of, at the very, very top of it by the lake. There they have camping sites there, and I think it's like $25 or something like that, and you could light fire and stuff. So they have rings and all. I'm thinking about doing that in the fall, maybe like next month before it gets too cold.
You're gonna have to find a day when it's if you're gonna go on the weekend when the birds aren't playing. You're gonna have to go do like a Monday night or something sometime in October or November.
Yeah, maybe I'll do like the bye week.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of, dude, how crazy was I mean, obviously the Birds game. We'll get to that, but last night's game was out of control, dude. My second cousin is a Jets fan, diehard, and they can't get no breaks, dude.
No, their list of quarterback failures is just a mile long, and just adding on to it. I mean, Aaron Rodgers didn't even complete one pass before going down for the.
Four fucking plays.
And it didn't even look like they had to keep zooming in on him. It just kind of looked routine. And then when you like zoomed in from one angle, you could see, I guess, his foot was flat and the guy kind of rolled up on it as he was like, so it definitely looked like something happened. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
shuddered him a little bit. Yeah, you can tell because when he fell down, I was watching a little bit of the broadcast with the Mannings, just a little bit, and right away you can tell because they're quarterbacks and they know they're like, oh my god. When he sat down, they right
yeah,
away they were like, dude, he something's wrong because I mean they know you can tape your ankle up, no problem, but then he got out to the 10, and then it was the cart. And then the next thing you know, he was done, and Wilson was in, but they still won the game. And it's
they did.
really funny because I think it was 2002, so about 21 years ago. I don't know if you remember Chad Morton, one of the old, I think it was a USC wide receiver. Same play, actually, I think it was a kickoff return, but it was against the Bills. It was week one,
Yeah,
and
how
it won the
exciting was
game
that?
for them. How fucking crazy is that?
Yeah, that was super exciting. I couldn't believe the way that game ended. And you know what? For what they're going through, I usually don't make any habit of rooting for any New York team, but I was kind of rooting for them by the end. I was like, you know what? Fucking let's see if we can get them a win. Fuck the Bills. They're going to be good all
And you,
year, which they looked like complete shit. Josh Allen was just a turnover machine last night. Four
yeah,
total turnovers, 3 interceptions. He just gave them the game.
16 points. I mean, that was Drek.
There were some rough performances in week one too. Joe Burrow had less than 100 yards, and they got completely demolished. And the Giants are just a lifeless corpse, just floating in the river, dead and bloated.
Dude, fucking Kenny Pickett looked like chicken.
Yeah, everybody's talking about like how great he was in the preseason with 5 drives and 5 touchdowns, and then as soon as the regular season turns on, it's just like, all right, you're going back to the JV bench, son.
But in the end, the Birds are still 1-0. I mean, we're one of 3 teams in the NFC East, so we have to keep pace with everybody. But let me tell you, and it wasn't the prettiest game either, Foods. I know you were talking about how you were watching it, we were watching it, we all saw the same thing. It was really, what'd you say? It was like a preseason game almost.
Yeah, it was a product of Sirianni not playing any of the starters and getting them no reps in the especially Jalen Hurts. I think it affects him the most because at least with the position players, when they're in practice, practicing against like the ones on the other side, or if they have like those dual scrimmage practices that they do, they're going at it and actually doing, live reps. But the quarterbacks are wearing, special, jerseys. You can't touch them. So, the quarterbacks really aren't getting touched at all. And, that you got to think that's Jalen Hurts' first reps of since the Super Bowl of actually getting touched and tackled. And you can't just throw people in the game speed without like really truly giving them game reps. And you need at least a couple drives in a preseason and give a little bit of that. And that's Sirianni's fault.
Well, I mean, he never got any pressures. He never got hurried, nothing like that. And even Sirianni, I don't know if you caught any of his press conference, the next day, yesterday. He even admitted that he might have to reevaluate how he approaches the preseason. I mean, I'm glad he admitted it. It's a learning process. He's still only this is his third year, so it's he's still a young coach. And I'm glad that he understands that preseason is important. I know we always make fun of it because we're fans, but like for the players, you got to shake that rust off. And there's only 3 of the game. There's only 3 games now, so I guess it's
a road win. It's a road win.
But I'm just saying for preseason they got to take it. I'm glad that they take that more seriously. But as far as the regular season goes, opening. The very first week of NFL is so unpredictable. There are so many variables.
No,
the rain added, an extra variable, and it turned out to be a sloppy 25-20 win, but I'll take it on Tom Brady night. Stick it right in his eye.
Yeah, just shit right in his Kool-Aid.
Right in his lunch, just right in the cereal. It was funny. He was ringing the bell in the rain. Oh, I was like, "Fuck you, dude.
Fuck you!" Like we had to spoil that, and you know what we did. So mission accomplished. On to the next game. Obviously, huge news. Nakobe Dean is out for the foreseeable future, going on IR, going to be at least a month. I wouldn't be surprised, if it was a little bit more than that. Honestly. That's really creating a lot of issues. I know we signed a linebacker. Do you recall his name? I know he got like 150 tackles last year.
Yes, oh crap. They were literally just talking about it. I was driving to Big Toad's house to get ready for the Frisbee golf game, and they said it. It's escaping me at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it's somebody to fill in as a body. And I think that if the offense could start pulling it together, the defense with because I mean, they still got Christian Ellis back there. He's going to have to put the green dot on, and they got, Zach Cunningham. Other people are going to step up. The name escapes me at the moment. Sorry.
Yeah, but my phone's being weird. I know we just traded for somebody. I think he might have even played for what the fuck team did he play for? Maybe Atlanta.
I was thinking it's either the Panthers or Atlanta. I think it was the Panthers. Why does the Panthers just stand out to me? But yeah, very fresh. It just came up. But you're right. I mean, if he's going to be out for these next 3 weeks, let's say. The first game's against the Vikings, right? There, he's out for that one. No problem. So the next game won't be till Tampa Bay, which is like 11 days away.
Yeah, it's almost like another mini bye for sure.
Yeah, so they got time. And the game after that is in October 1st. So
yeah, it's definitely bad news, though. It looks like his name was Evans. And Nicholas Morrow as well. We have him on the practice. Rashaan Evans.
Okay. Was he from
first round pick of the Titans?
Titan. That's the one.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
So it's the Titans.
So it's the similar colors to the Panthers. Well,
you're right on.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, look, again, warm body, Phil. I understand that the linebacking core has never gotten the attention that it deserves in this specific, city. At least at this point in time, back in the day, sure, it got its attention. But I think lately they put way more onus on the line, way more, resources
Well, they
for the
always have.
offense. Yeah, way more for the
Yeah, I
offense.
mean, I mean, they always have. When's the last time we've had good linebackers like Mark
Trotter.
Simino, like garbage? We've had just Takeo Spikes. We've had
Yeah, I
just
mean, 20 years ago. That was it back in the day. Obviously,
it's
like
it's
they
been a
were.
long time since we've had any good linebackers for sure, and it's definitely something that the Eagles just really haven't prioritized over the years as a position of need. But I think that what we're going to see is if Morrow and Rashawn Evans don't pan out, being starter level players, then we're going to see a whole lot of open space in the middle, crossing routes, and just getting burned like that all year round, all year
Well,
long. And
hopefully it doesn't last that long. You know what I'm saying?
that's what I'm saying. But at this point, the roster is pretty set. Something obviously can happen, but I mean, realistically, we're going to pull off like a blockbuster linebacker trade in the during the season. So I mean, this is kind of what we got right now, Foods, and
Yeah.
it was thin to begin with, and now it's just a razor hair thin.
Well, we still got Howie. You never know what Howie can pull. There's a chance, and I mean, his team. We'll see what Sean Desai can do. If he's a good enough coordinator, maybe he can hide some of these, deficiencies in some of his play calling. That's all you can hope for, really.
Yeah, and they really just need reps together.
It's
They
funny
need.
because Dallas has the exact thing we need for like linebacking and defense. It's so frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, oh
Yeah, it I definitely would have liked to maybe seen them go off of the line on that Nolan Smith pick. I don't even remember his name called on Sunday, and he's it's a rookie first game. I mean, there's obviously not quite as much hype around him as Jalen Carter, who got his first sack. And Riley couldn't have been any happier. He was looking up betting lines before the game. He was just like, Jalen Carter's plus 600 to get a sack today. What does that mean? I was like, you should throw $100 on it. And sure enough, he ended up picking up that sack. So,
hey, if he's got an eye, go
he
through.
was on it.
Everybody looked good. Jordan Davis looked good. It was popped the ball out like.
Yeah, he popped the ball out, got half a sack, and that was his first sack of his career, half a sack, believe it or not. But yeah, the defensive line looks stout as can be. Big play Slay with the pick six, and that was a gift kind of, but it was a great run back. And yeah, I mean, no complaints really on the not too much on the defense. The linebackers, did give up some, intermediate, plays, which, I'm kind of worried about with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison coming to town and TJ Hawkinson working the middle. That's the Eagles, weakness was not only their linebacking core, but their the way that they play pass defense, specifically in the linebacking core. So then you make them even thinner, and it's a recipe for a long night for sure if they can't get some pressure on Kirk Cousins.
And I think because it's a primetime game, and we all know how Kurt loves to like cough it up, and he loves to fucking choke it on primetime games. I think we have a good chance. Those routes you're talking about, I think that our DBs can be so crafty and make Kurt, if we could get good pressure on him with
we have to get pressure, but that's the blueprint. Get rid of the ball quick. I don't know how. Kurt's pretty efficient like that. He doesn't make.
He'll get his yards.
He'll get his yards. But if we can limit them inside the 20, keep them from the 20 to the 20. Let them score field goals and put points on the board that way. Yeah, I think we definitely have a shot. I like it's a nice home game. Get everybody in their own beds. Got a game under their belt to get some game time reps. I look for them to start pushing the ball more down the field this game for sure.
And it was nice to see, Jake Elliott get his reps. Man, he was the MVP
Yeah,
of that game.
yeah. Jake's great. He used to come down to that Valspar golf tournament where I used to live in Palm Harbor. He used to come down to that every year. I never got to talk to him directly, but I've seen him down there.
I
I
bet
was
he's
like,
great.
really nice.
Was he good? Was he like a decent player?
I didn't see him play golf. I just saw him like hang out at we were at some of the events down there. Like it's a whole week long thing down there for like the tournament. But I actually gate crashed the last year that we lived here, Foods. I was running back on the golf course, and I'm in like just a shitty t-shirt like this and some shorts, and they have like this outdoor area, and they were having like a whiskey tasting for like players' wives and like stuff like that. And I was just like standing on the outside watching for like 15 minutes, like what was like going on. It was just starting. They had like a buffet set up with food and all. So I started kind of inching closer to the gate, inching closer. So after a while, there was like a gazebo right there where like chairs and seats. I just walked in and just sat down, and I definitely it was like polo shirt. It wasn't like shirt and tie or anything because it's super hot down in Florida. And so I just crashed in and I made my way to a table when it started. And it turns out it was for like veterans. And it was a full whiskey tasting where they they were teaching you like how to smell it and swill it and swish it and like all this shit and all. And it was one of my finer gate crashes for sure.
That's awesome. Sounds like a
Yeah,
fun. That sounds great, man. I love crashing shit.
I know. I still sneak into the movies some.
That was fun back in the day too.
It is fun, and I still do it. And like Riley eggs me on to do it too when we go. He's like, "Come on, they're not even looking. Come on." I'm like, "Man, come on." This is my 14, almost 15-year-old son. I'm like, "Come on, man, you're too young for me to." But we were pulling shit like that at that age for sure.
Right? I mean, what can you say? It was absolutely true. Especially going, all the fun places, AMC. Nowadays, there's too many cameras. It's tougher nowadays.
You know what? It's not tougher because there's no ticket taker and usher at the front. You got to go to concessions now to buy your tickets. And when the line's long as fuck and you're just getting there with previews already on, like I'm not waiting for like 4 people to order popcorn when the trick is there's a bathroom right on the inside. So I always just go up, and if there is somebody there, I'm just like, I gotta use the bathroom, and I just walk in. Then they have a door on the other side of the bathroom, right where the movies are. I could just walk right in.
Oh, so there's no one like doing stubs like before.
No,
Okay.
they don't give a fuck. It's we have an IMAX Regal, literally like a mile and a half from me right here, and they're expensive as fuck, man. The tickets are like $14-15 a ticket now.
Yeah, it's the movies for you. Plus, I mean, a lot of those places are cafes and restaurants too.
Yeah, they have bars in them and shit now, and you got to pick your own seats.
Well, a
I,
lot of
I,
places, I mean, go to the stadiums. The same thing. If you go to the link, I mean, when we went to the last time I was at the link, there were so many nice little like cigar bars and
yeah,
like
little places to
different.
watch.
Yeah, so I mean, they got you set up for comfort. They want you to spend money there, but they want you to hang there too. So, I mean, same thing for when you go to the basketball games, Flyers games. So, I mean, shit. I mean, maybe I'll go down Thursday because it's a home game.
You
Maybe I'll go
should.
down there and like interview people. Be like, so 4th and 26 got you on the. Well, I have you for a moment. Let's talk about our defense. Let's talk about our offense. Talk about specialty. I tell you what, Aaron Rodgers didn't look that bad. He had a
He
couple
didn't.
good boomers.
He didn't. Now, I think that kind of creates a problem now because we've called Aaron Sipas and Britton Covey up from the practice squad, and I think you can only call them up 2 or 3 times before you have to like offer them a contract or like cut them. I think.
I think it's 3 times.
Right. So right now they're currently calling them up from the practice squad for games. So that's going to create an issue if they also have to call up the Nicholas Morrow and Rashawn Evans
Scott
from the
Evans, yeah.
practice squad. And if you can only do two a week, I think you can. Yeah, I think you can only do two a week.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. I know that they like Sipos a lot, regardless of his punting abilities, because of how great of a holder he is.
Right, and you don't want to
Perfect.
mix up, mess that up with Elliott because he is a big
Yeah.
part of.
Dude, I was so surprised. I know that that Belichick loves to go for points. I get all that, but he left two good field goal attempts on
He
the
did.
field in that game. That could have. We were saying that could have been the swing right there.
It could have been the swing, and you can't leave points out there. You can't let the dead get in.
Yeah, and especially since they got O'Brien came back and started being their offensive coordinator. Dude, speaking of the other Jim O'Brien that died in '83, it's coming up on the 40-year anniversary with the skydiving. The guy that died in the skydiving accident. We were only like 3 years old when it happened, but my
Jesus
mother
Christ.
was. Yeah, he was a broadcaster. He was a friend of Jim Gardner and all that, and he was near
Jim
Tyler.
Gardner,
It was Tyler State Park where they were doing all the
really?
skydiving. And yeah, Jim O'Brien got caught up with somebody
Did
and
he die
shoot.
on the disc golf course?
Yeah, well, he was not. He was like, I want to say like a farm or two away, and he lit 500 feet, bang, right. That was it.
Damn.
That was 40 years ago, in like a week or two.
Yeah, when you start to put things in like decades ago, when you start remembering shit, you're like, damn, that's like the first time you're middle ages where like you really start to feel old. You're like, oh,
Yeah, 9/11 was
remember? Yeah,
2 decades ago yesterday.
what happened 2 decades ago?
Not 9/11 was.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm just
I
saying that
can't
was
believe
and
it.
that was half the time of Jim O'Brien passing away.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
certain parts of your life are like a timestamp. I like to create like timestamps where like I remember certain things with like certain events of so I can like remember some of the ages because it's kind of hard when you start to get in your 40s, almost mid 40s, and how much shit do you remember doing when you were 28?
I mean, I try to remember. I try to keep it in mind because now that I mean, I don't have children that I know of, so
Were we roommates when you were 28?
I don't think so. I think I was living with Goldie out in Widener at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I moved from the hood over to the other hood near Chester.
No.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, 15 years ago is a long time. Do you remember everything you did 15 years ago?
Well, me and Lisa met 15 years ago.
Right. Well,
So
yeah,
that
Riley's getting there. He's almost 15.
right. So he's almost 15. So then you think about, yeah. So it's crazy, man. It starts to really fly by for sure.
I was thinking about some of speaking of because we were talking about the return last night, the punt return, and then 20 years ago Metcalf did it, dude. Or I'm not Metcalf, Morton, but I was thinking of other ones like back in like the 80s, Dave Williams for the Bears, Eric Metcalf for the Browns, like those certain sports, moments in time are very good at keeping time framed for people. Do you know
They
what I'm
are.
saying? Obviously when the Birds win, what year that was. I mean, even though they lost in Super Bowl 39, you'll never forget that was
Yeah,
2004, 2005. You
yeah.
know what I mean? There's always something.
Yeah, I was just having that conversation with Riley. Like there's the same buzz around like this team like last year and then going into this year as there was in like 2004. That's about like the only other time I really truly felt that buzz because poor, for all the McNabb haters out there, obviously he had his shit moments, but if McNabb would have had any receivers, we were looking through like a top 15 or 20 list of receivers McNabb had to work with, and they were so bad, guys. So Torrance Small, Nah Brown.
James Thrash, Todd Pinkston, Freddie Mitchell, for God. And we're 4th and 26. And
I
we
just
love
want
them.
to thank my hands. I don't know what to do with them, but I want to thank.
To do the belt. Oh, my God. But you're right. I mean, McNabb had that beautiful scramble that won the game against the Dallas Cowboys. So, I mean, you're right. Like, you got to respect and definitely take and love the athletes that you do get. But man, it was bad. He didn't have any weapons until T.O. showed up. Yeah,
I mean, even Eli Manning had Plaxico Burress, and he had him for pretty much a long time. And the 1 year you gave McNabb a weapon, T.O., look, they made it to the Super Bowl. So, we really prioritize wide receiver position now. But if we would have, when McNabb was the quarterback, he would have been going into the Hall of Fame with a Super Bowl or so instead of Eli Manning. And that's a difference because I believe McNabb was a better quarterback. He was a better regular season quarterback. And I just thought he was a better quarterback. But, Eli is going to, probably end up in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's such a debatable topic, Eli's entrance into the Hall of Fame. I mean, 2 Super Bowls, how can you say no? But it's his, I mean, and of course also his longevity got to be respected, but still, like, he's just so derpy, dude. I don't know.
He is derpy.
But I mean, that's not the best. That's not the best, argument against it. But man,
he's just derpy. I mean, that is why the man should not be inducted in the Hall of Fame. You've heard it here first. All right, Jesus Christ. All right, 57,000 yards, 366 touchdowns in 236 games. 2-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 4-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he'll probably get in.
I think he's got a lot of interceptions, though. I mean, my God, did the man throw interceptions?
But if Brett Favre is going to go in,
his interceptions, listen to this: 17, 18, 20, 10, 14, 25, 16, 15. In 2013, he had 18 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. A passer rating of 52.
Yeah, that was terrible.
You know what? I'm looking at his stats. He had 5 years in a row from 2008 through 2012 where he had a passer rating over 85. And they were the years he was 21-10 with touchdowns, 27-14, 31-25, 29-16, and 29-15. That was his most consistent run with it. And other years, I mean, my God, 31-25. I mean, 23-20, 24-18. As much as we all hate Dak Prescott on this channel, we bust his balls for having the most interceptions, 15 last year. And I mean, Eli Manning's putting that up routinely, and then 50%.
He just had great defenses, and he just came through in those clutch moments. Yeah, I mean, when you needed, you needed to escape 3rd and 20, whatever.
Winners win.
Yeah, like I said, if Favre's going in, there's no way Eli shouldn't, I guess.
I know. It hurts. It hurts me to see him going for sure. So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you this, Foos, because I just can't let it go. I guess for some reason, and I always fight with Riley over, and he says I'm crazy, but Nick Foles is 100% a top 3 Eagles quarterback of all time.
Top 3, yeah.
Top 3,
absolutely.
Possibly even top 2.
I would certainly say top 3. It's if there were a Mount Rushmore of Eagles, he would absolutely be there.
So he'd be on. Okay, so we don't have to say the greatest. We could say the Mount Rushmore. So.
Yeah, I would think the Mount Rushmore is fair because that gives you a chance to really change. Because Jalen Hurts might be the next one to go on there too.
I think he will be. I think you have McNabb on it for sure. I think you have
Foles. I mean, Foles is definitely on there.
Foles
I
is
don't.
on there.
I don't see how you couldn't have like
Reggie
maybe.
White. I think you'd have to have like Reggie White on there.
Well, I thought we were just doing like quarterbacks.
No, you could do any. Well, yeah, quarterbacks. Okay, let's say quarterbacks. Let's say
Well,
quarterbacks.
yeah, because if you're thinking of four, I mean, you got Jaws. I don't know if I would say he was on the Mount Rushmore though. Maybe Sonny Jurgensen. But I mean, you're
Maybe.
going back. That's even before like way even before our time. Sonny
I mean,
Jurgensen's like in the '60s.
you have Randall Cunningham on there. You have
Yeah,
to
I
have him.
guess. Yeah, I guess that would probably have to round it out because I don't know if I would add Mike Vick. I don't think I would add Mike Vick.
Mike Vick's not an Eagle. He was a gun for hire for a few years. He was on the team for a little bit, but he's not an Eagle. Mike Vick is a Falcon.
Yeah, I'd have to say that I wouldn't put him on there. You know what I mean? They had some great games, boy, and he redeemed his reputation here. I like that.
You got Norm Van
Yeah,
Brocklin.
that's I was
Yeah,
thinking like I'm thinking of like the older ones. I mean, that's
I
the
think you have
best
to
you
have
could
a
do.
cutoff. You have to have a cutoff.
Yeah,
Like
I think
1990 to now, and then everything before 1990, I think.
I mean, if you were to add Jaws, I wouldn't think Jaws would be a terrible ad. He was playing pretty. He was playing through, God, I want to say 70, so it was like 78, 77 to about 84. I want to say 80, 86, something like it might have been 84, 85. He was with us for about 7 years.
Yeah, his stats were pretty lackluster.
Yeah, I was about to say he wasn't. I mean, he got that when they went to the Super Bowl. I mean, he did good, but it was on the back of Wilbert Montgomery and that
Yeah, what a
defense.
beast he was. I could throw the
Yeah,
ball to Wilbur Montgomery.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's he was. Here's the ball. Could you please go score a touchdown from inside our out on our side of the field, and he would do it. Wilbert Montgomery's an animal.
He was on from 77 through 86.
Yeah, 80. Okay, I was thinking 85. All right, so there you go. So he had a good 8 years here.
So here's his completion percentage.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
48, 51.8, 50.8, 57, 54.2, 58, 52, 54, 52.7. That's his and 52.2. That's his completion percentage.
Now we have to take into account the fact that rule changes occurred during his watch.
All right,
like quarterback rule changes. Remember 78, 79, 80 when they were put into effect? And a lot of those, I think that did his I'm presuming his percentage increased as the years increased, right? As he
No, he was pretty much an interception machine his entire time with the Eagles. 179 touchdowns, 164 interceptions.
But what about so after 78, did his quarterback percentage go up a little bit year after year?
Okay, so in 78, his completion percentage was 51.8, 79, 50.8, 80, 57,
okay.
81, 54, 58, 52, 54, 52, 52. A lot of 52s, really. He had a couple seasons in like the 57s.
Because I think those were that was the time when quarterbacks were getting more protection, but he was also playing against a lot of other pain in the ass. He's playing against Dan Fouts. He was playing against White. What's his face over in Dallas? He was playing against Pisarcik, all those types of players. You know what I mean? Like good players, but they had great weapons, good running backs, great return men. You know what I'm saying? Good quarterbacks too.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you would have gave McNabb, quality receivers, we would have had another Super Bowl or two for sure. Because let's not forget how good those teams were in the early 2000s. They were good years to be Eagles fans. We endured a lot to get to that point. Honestly, we were just coming up at that time, and it felt like we were going to win that one. We had some good teams.
Yeah, it's true. We had to go through the dark for a while. Same thing for the Phils, but we're there now. And let me tell you, it's nice knowing that we got a good amount of baseball, a good amount of football still ahead of us. So 4th to 26, fans, you stay with us for the rest of the season. We're going to bring you all the good stuff. This is week 1, and there's 16 more weeks behind it.
So let's get an early prediction before we wrap it up here. What are you thinking? What's some keys to the game you're looking for on Thursday night? It was a short turnaround. I mean, it's crazy. I don't remember, this early in the season ever the Eagles, playing on like Sunday late afternoon, then all of a sudden have a Thursday game. It's just crazy to have 2 games, within 4 days like that.
I kind of like it, and I'll tell you why. Same principle behind when you're frisbee golfing, Foods, and you throw a great shot, then you throw a shitty shot, then you throw another shitty shot, and then you think to yourself, I can't throw any more shitty shots, but you got to have a short memory, and I think that's what this quick turnaround will be for Jalen and the offense. A short memory. They're going to say to themselves, all right, let's flush this one. We got the win, and we also got humiliated. Use that as fuel, turn that into what I hope will be an offensive juggernaut this season. And if I can see 30 points out of this game, I don't care how they get it. You get it by defense. You get it by offense. You get it by special teams. But if we can accrue 30 points, and I think if we get a handle on this game early, get a handle on their receivers, bump them off the line, use that 5 yards. Plus, we're home. I want that crowd to be loud. So those are my key foods. I just give me those 3 things, 4 things, and I think we can take this one going away back down to Tampa Bay next week.
I think the number one thing is getting off to a fast start in this game. If the Eagles, can get off to a fast start, get the crowd involved, there's nothing worse than if Minnesota gets the ball and Justin Jefferson's just catching it all over us across the middle of the field and the crowd just goes silent. So, I kind of want the ball first. Let's get an offense right out there. Let's get some points on the board and, keep the crowd in the game for sure, because that's going to be a key. That's going to be a huge key to the game.
I wouldn't mind getting the ball first, but I can see them deferring. I can see them putting that defense on, and I think pop them off the line, Foods. I want to see some bopping. I want to see some good rubs. I don't want to see any type of pick plays. I want to see good crosses. I want to see separation. I want to see everybody staying in their hip pocket of their man. I want good zone reads, and I really want good man coverage if they're going to do it with the DBs.
Yeah, great points, Foods. I mean, honestly, it's huge keys to victory, and just getting Dallas Goedert involved in the offense. No catches. That was just something you're not used to seeing.
Can't happen, Foods. So like, comment, subscribe, fam. We want to hear what you got to say, and we'll try to come back. Maybe we could do a quick turnaround show, Foods. Maybe we got the stamina to do it too.
Maybe we can. We'll stay tuned, guys. We'll be back with another one shortly. Have a good night, guys. Later.
Peace.